Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 692 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Jimmy Choi. And if you want to hear about how to get a valuation on your practice, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle podcast. Today I have Jimmy Choi on with me. He's with Bridge Financial. We're going to talk to you guys all about the chiropractic business strategy of how to evaluate your practice and how to sell the practice, how to optimize the practice, and the ABCs of doing a valuation and getting a deal done. It's going to be super powerful for anybody that's watching this episode. If you guys don't have these resources or don't know where to go or who to trust, please share the show with a colleague or a friend. They're going to benefit greatly from what Jimmy and I are going to talk about with the chiropractic profession today. Almost called him a doctor because I interview a lot of amazing doctors over here. But before we get into Jimmy's business, this is a sponsorship episode for Bridge Financial. So just know that if you go to the Chiro Hustle website, click on the sponsorship tabs there, you're going to find a valuation calculator for your practice, and just do that quickly. And then Jimmy and his team will be connecting with you guys really quick. So why do we do what we do over here at Chiro Hustle? Well, first things first is freedom of speech. We know what it's like to be traffic throttled, shadow banned, and censored. We'd never do that to you. We also believe in medical freedom, family health freedom. They're not the same things, but if you need help and guidance with that, find a chiropractor in your city or your neighborhood. I think they will help you and love to give you guidance with medical freedom, family health freedom. Philosophically speaking, I know I shouldn't have to talk about this, but they're taking this language out of the colleges. So please share this show with a student or a young grad or somebody that's been out for 2 to 5 years that didn't get the philosophy that we talk about on the show. We protect BJ Palmer's Sacred Trust. It's his last words. Go to the show notes, click on Sacred Trust. You're going to learn more about chiropractic than you ever did before, I guarantee you. We do support subluxation-based chiropractic, innate intelligence, and universal intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical, gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual, which creates educated intelligence. And that's a big topic today. We're going to talk about the educated intelligence of a chiropractic business deal. And Jimmy Choi, your episode 692. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, James. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're catching each other in stride at the right time. I talk about this a lot. Most people don't go to a chiropractor because, number one, they don't know where to go or who to trust. And now most chiropractors don't sell their businesses or transition out of them because, you know what? They don't know where to go or who to trust. So when Dr. Larry Ziegler put me in touch with you, we just caught on like fast friends. And we were like, man, this is a great relationship. Let's go forward. So thank you for being a part of the Chiro Hustle family.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us. And Larry, if you're listening, thanks for the introduction.
Yeah, it happened very quickly. And that's a part that I really want to anchor into with the people that are going to be watching today's show is we can get things done pretty quickly. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Bridge Financial and the projects that you guys do. I know that you said you guys have a mission statement.
Yeah, yes, we do. Maybe we can start off with that.
I think that would be a good opener, and then we can talk about the business health score and the valuations.
Yeah, let's do that. So we are a tech company that really utilizes AI and tech to help buy, sell, and optimize small businesses. And why we started this is As everyone has heard, there's the greatest transfer of wealth happening right now, or the silver tsunami, where baby boomers are retiring. And if everyone knows, we've heard small businesses are the backbone to our economy, to our country. And baby boomers own a significant amount of small businesses. And within the next 5 to 10 years, the majority of these businesses in America will be transferred to a new ownership or shut down. And unfortunately, we've seen so many businesses right now, small businesses that could potentially sell, that are shutting down. So our mission statement is, we believe that small businesses can really empower the backbone of our economy. So our mission is to strengthen families and communities by empowering small businesses to thrive. So really, if we can empower small businesses, we believe that families and communities can be strengthened. And that's why we're doing this. So that's a little bit more about our why, James.
So when somebody comes over to chirohustle.com and they click on the link for Bridge Financial and they do the practice valuation, what does that look like for them when they like click through that portal? And I know that you said you do something called a business health score too, that helps them understand where you guys can help them find the gaps in their business and become healthier as a product.
Yeah. So the reason why we put the business calculator, that's something that I think business owners would be very interested in. We all know our credit score, right? And when we sell or buy a home, we know the appraisal of that house. But 98% of business owners don't know what their business is valuated at. And if you want to sell a business, if you want to optimize a business, it's a really good start to understand, what am I valued at? So that's actually one of the first steps, is we provide a business valuation. So if you were to go through that calculator, you would put in, what's your gross revenue? What's your expenses? What's your assets? What's your liabilities? What industry you're in? And we're able to provide a business valuation estimate that's pretty accurate. Obviously, it's not, you can't take this to the bank. It's not certified. You can't get any SBA lending from it, or you can't use it for your buy or sell of a business, but it's a good understanding of where you are at.
It's kind of like a personal measuring stick in the marketplace.
Exactly. It's a rough calculate. It's a rough estimate of where your business is, but that's kind of the first step of helping. This is what my business is worth. But we have another business health score, where you fill out a few questions, and we're able to help you understand kind of the strengths and opportunities of your business, starting from what's your product market fit, to how are you generating your leads, what channels are you using, what about your GMB page, Google My Business, what about your reviews, how are you converting your leads, how are you retaining your leads, what does your operational efficiency and effectiveness look like, meaning, are you automating a lot of the things that you could, are you digitizing a lot of the things? And we're able to give a health score around, hey, your business is like at a C+. Here's what you're doing well, green. Here's what you can improve on, yellow. Here's some serious improvement in red. And we can display and help you understand where your business is at. So really, with that business valuation estimate, or we even provide certified valuations. So with that estimate or valuation, and also with the business health score, we're able to really create a roadmap of how to increase your revenue, how to increase your operational efficiency, and ultimately increase your valuation. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do, is we utilize technology and our business expertise to really educate people on, I want to sell my business, I want to optimize business, or I want to grow and buy a business. And we provide data and information for you to make the right decisions.
And I think a lot of people come into this chiropractic space and they practice for 20 years, they practice for 30 years, and they get to the edge of the line and they're like, gosh, it's time for me to like go on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And, I think there's a lot of chiropractors out there that will watch this. They'll have this as a resource that they might even watch this from 5 years from now. And they're going to be like, you know what? I don't have a plan and I don't know how, and it is kind of a scary place Like you get to 20 years in practice, 25 years in practice, and you don't have like a legacy plan. You don't have like any idea on how to transition from where you're at. And, you're like, gosh, my left knee hurts. My right shoulder's crying at me. I have body aches that I can't produce and perform the way I used to. How do you take somebody in that position and help them?
Yeah, and James, I'm glad you brought this up, because one of the reasons why, as I mentioned, is there's a lot of baby boomers in the chiropractor space, and they are in the position. They are great healers. They've done a fantastic job healing, adjusting people. But one thing that we notice is, yes, they're great healers and adjusters and helping people feel and heal better. But running a business, they lack some of the business acumen of not just selling a business, but even running the business in an optimal way. And as you mentioned, a lot of baby boomers are about to retire, and the best ideal client is, if you want to sell your business in a year or two, start now. And it's really catching those clients and helping them with the preparation. Because if we make a few pivots, if, for example, they don't have a website, or if they just have a website and it's very static, we can really make some pivots and changes where they can grow their revenue a little bit. So when they do need to sell in 24 months, they could sell at an optimal price and an optimal time, where they have more leverage and they have more information and education that they can make the right decision. Because right now the industry is, to be frank, a lot of people, business owners, are being taken advantage of, or they're not being able to sell their price at the most optimal price. And it's because of preparation, and the knowledge and education has been lacking. So what we do is we just start with exactly that. Here's your business valuation. Here's your business health score. What are your goals? Great. You want to sell in 4 years? Let's drop a roadmap of your exit strategy. Who do you want to sell to? Why do you want to sell to this person? What are some of the criteria you have? What are important to you? So it takes some time to find the right people, right? Right.
So it's really strategic business modeling.
Very, very. It's very with the plan. It's a timeline, milestones, and a strategic plan of, because yes, I want to sell my business at the optimal price. Great. Do you have your tax statements the past 3 years ready? Do you have your P&Ls? Do you have everything ready to go that a buyer would want to come in and look at your business? And for the most part, it's no. And that's what I mean is, let's prepare you.
So is there a case where what you do isn't a good fit? Say somebody's out of school for a year and they're like, you know what? I've had a great career at chiropractic, being a chiropractor in my first year. I'm ready to go on to the next thing. And actually, I want to go work in another chiropractor's office, and I don't want to lose everything I built.
Yeah, it's not just baby boomers we help, James. It's anyone that has a baby, anyone that has a business, or even aspiring entrepreneurs, that those associates. That's a perfect, actually, example. We help even associates buy these practices that have been around, right?
Because I see a lot. I have a huge network of chiros, and I know that there's a lot of great talent out there that are within their first 3 years that are really not ramping up to build the practice of their dreams, but they have great competency in adjusting. They have great, table talk. They have great adjusting skills, but they're just not finding the momentum that they need in order to get to the next level. So I think if that would be another sector of chiropractic that you could say, look, I know you're not where you want to be. Let's get this thing buttoned up and get you out to the next thing, to where you can go actually help another practice that you can then leverage your skills in and be their, second in command. You can be their associate. And actually, we're not just going to close your doors on you. We're going to actually help you like convert out of that space and that business. And now we're going to prepare you to go help this other doctor.
Yeah, and potentially maybe even buy that practice in a few years when that doctor's ready to retire, right?
Yeah. So that's where I see, like, there's so many options when people come into your ecosystem, where they start to you start to go through that questionnaire that you showed me, the really robust report, and you can start getting some clarity on where they are. And that's really the hardest thing. When I started going to this thing called EPOC, which is called Epicenter of Chiropractic. There were these group meetings, and they told us, whatever you do, don't talk about how many patient visits a week that you see, and don't talk about how much you make in collections at the practice. You can talk about anything else, but don't talk about this. And I think that there's still a hesitancy within the chiropractic space to say, I see 100 a week. Well, I probably would guarantee you're not seeing 100 a week, but with your 45 people you do see a week, how can we make improvements to that? So I find that you're kind of like this like in between safe spot where people have to be real with you. They have to be honest with you in order to have you support them and get them to where they're ready to go to.
Yeah. And we really use data. And yes, we're in a business of helping people buy and sell and optimize businesses, but we are educators first and foremost. So how we do this, of how we help people buy and optimize businesses, is data. So we have secondary and primary research that we've conducted with chiropractors to kind of benchmark, saying, hey, what's your average revenue? How many potential clients are you generating? How many are you converting? What's your growth rate? What's your overhead? What's your EBITDA? And we know this, especially for the Utah market, which we're at. We're able to work with the Utah Chiropractor Association and Aaron Oxum, and they're fantastic. And we're able to generate some market reports. And we're excited to be working with the chiropractors in Utah, and we can educate them on, hey, if you're making around this revenue, you probably should look into your pricing or your website or your product market fit. And that's kind of where we come in, is we have this data and we can benchmark you, saying, hey, you should probably, if you're getting 3 potential clients a week, that's actually really low. Let's look into why. Is your branding, is your messaging resonating with your ideal client profile? Is your website up, etc.? So
you made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments, ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR, practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Well, I look at it as, if people work with you, it's a bonus. But if people come in and do the snapshot analysis that you do for them, and they're like, you know what, I'm really not ready yet, but I needed this information to get me to the point where I feel comfortable actually running a profitable business. Like, that's a part where I think that you guys are like the silver lining. You come in, and if somebody says, hey, I want to do the valuation at the Chiro Hustle website, and that's how they come into your life, and then you're able to meet with them and you can go through those steps with them, they might be like, you know what, this is the one part that no one ever told me about running a business, and I'm 10 years out and I'm doing this. Thank you for seeing my blind spots. Thank you for at least giving me a roadmap to know that I'm able to go into the next stage of practice, and I know what my collections are. I know what the national average is, where I need to be. Like, there could be some massive coaching opportunities in this too, where people just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. And like I mentioned, education is key. Even growing a business, and even chiropractors, even to become better healers and better doctors, it's like you're constantly learning new methodologies, new research, new ways to help clients. Same with us. We hear about AI all the time. I just had lunch with Aaron today, and we talked about, chiros, they struggle with documentation of meeting with clients, especially working with the VA. There's strict requirements. There's companies out there where she was blown away when I showed them some of the AI tools we use. Say, hey, Aaron, you can capture all the meeting recordings by the minute, who said what, to the action points, a summary, a transcript. So I think that's what chiros need is, yes, let's continue to help you do what you're good at, of healing people, but the business side of running it more efficiently and effectively, there's part where the education is lacking. And I think that's why we're excited to work with the Chiro community is, yes, there's great resources like the Chiro Congress and associations out there. But the education is a little bit limited from what we've seen.
So let's take some real life cases. Say you get in and this gal's been practicing for 21 years and they're like, you know what? It's time to retire. Let's walk them through a scenario of how it would work for them.
Yeah. So we would first identify what their goals are. Like, what's your time frame? What do you want to sell it at? Why? Who do you want to sell it to? Why? How involved do you want to be after? And after that, we would find the buyers that would fit that criteria. So in order to do that, again, we have to start with your valuation and getting your ducks in a row, getting your business ready to sell. And we have a sales readiness team to help you get the tax documents, get all your ducks in a row. And then once you're ready, we will help you. We have a network of private investors, entrepreneurs and associates too. I think we should definitely look into that market. If you're new into this business, been in the business for 2-3 years or 5 years or less and looking to buy a business, love to work with you. But we have a sales readiness team. When businesses are ready, well, we will market this, connect you to the buyer. And once the deal is once we connect the buyer and seller, we'll help you with the purchase agreement, the LOI, everything to the finish line. And we'll complete end-to-end transaction. Will help you with this process. And also the new buyer. Hey, we work with this seller the past few months. We know their business. As a new business owner, you're going to have some struggles. Let us be your optimization team to help you with your marketing, your product market fit, your messaging, your operational efficiency, and how to automate and digitize your practice. Right. So, yeah, James.
Well, what you're doing is a huge necessity in the gap for the chiropractic space. I believe that there's so many people out there that are sitting on gold mines. They just don't know how to product match their gold to sell. There's so many people out there that are looking for support, that they know that the market is out there where they need somebody to come in and be their associate, but they don't know how to transition that effectively and really do it the right way. I believe that there's a lot of people out there that know that they need somebody else to come in and work in their clinic, but I can't tell you how many times I put those deals together for people and they don't even know how to have the conversation yet. So I do believe that there is a huge opportunity for what you're doing to match people that are in the marketplace that would like to transition out of practice, but also finding somebody to pass that legacy on. Let's talk about that specifically, like that legacy part, because I know that's something that you guys focus on.
Yeah. In what terms, James? How should we? What angle?
Yes. So I believe that the legacy of a practice, how can we frame it out for somebody to know that a young DC is a good commitment and a good pass on?
Yeah. And that's the thing. At first, it's going to be very difficult. And that's where I think the golden opportunity is meeting with these baby boomer chiropractors. Just from the numbers from Utah, 25%, let's say a quarter, didn't know the process or where to start. And then another 25% said, we don't know who to sell it to. We don't have any family members. But a lot of them or associates, and talking to these baby boomer doctors, they want to sell it to an associate. They want to sell it to someone they've worked with that they know that the clients will be taken care of. And I really love the chiropractors. They just have a really good intentions in making sure that their clients are taken care of. And that's honestly been the number one thing. I want my clients to be taken care of. So there's a lot of benefits to these new associates. If you want to go start a business, 80-90% of businesses will fail the first year, right? And I don't know the exact statistic in Chiro. That's something that we should look into. But it's going to be much, much, much more effective and risk low risk to buy a business that's been around for years, few years, and having this doctor saying, hey, this is James. He's a new associate. He's going to be taking good care of you. Like, we're partners in this. And I think that's what they're looking for, is someone that can really take on.
And that was the fundamentals of that question, was the pass on, like having somebody come in that's a trusted hand that the doctor is then going to relinquish the practice to, and then the patient base, see what happens. There's either healthy practices or there's sick practices. Most of the time when somebody gets to that stage where it's a sick practice, they don't know how to reverse it and make it healthy again. So I think that that's where you guys can come in and really support that sick practice and understand that, look, you got to give us at least a year now. We're going to do your valuation. We're going to do your business health score. Now we're going to product match you with somebody else that can come in and take over your practice and be your legacy associate. That's really where I think that you guys have a sweet spot. Like you said, with the the boomer generation, is they don't want to just close the doors. But they don't know where to sell it to you. Like you said, the percentages are against them. And they just don't know what their assets are either. So getting a clear picture for them, I think honestly, most chiropractic students, when they come out of school, this day and age, they want to be associates. They don't want to go start it by themselves. So if they knew that there was a pathway for them to come out of school, be placed in a legacy style practice, and then to be able to precept and mentor and then learn the business modeling from somebody that's been doing it for many years, that is really what our current culture is looking for.
Yeah. And we were able to connect. I know, James, it was a pleasure meeting you in person at the Chiro Congress event. But one of the companies that we connected with, Chiro Jobs, I believe, as well. But we're kind of looking in those opportunities. Hey, let's create a pathway for these associates. It might make sense for some people to start a business, but very, 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 very few starting out with. But for the mass majority, it's going to make sense to learn under a chiropractor, legacy chiropractor, and to learn the business side and also the healing, the doctors, the chiropractor side as well. And when the time is right, we can kind of state, hey, the doctor wants to retire in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Let's structure the deal where you can work less and the ownership slowly transfers to the new associate. And I think that's where, like you said, there is a golden opportunity, because based on our research, majority of chiropractors are in this baby boomer phase, where they're in this kind of the 25 to 40-year-old phase as well. So, and one thing to note, James, baby boomers, I mean, if you look at the business, it's for the most part one of the top valuable assets that these business owners have. And that's one of the reasons why we started this. There's business brokers out there, but they're taking a significant percentage, 8 to 12% of, as a brokerage fee. So that's where we're excited, is we can really utilize technology, AI, and our expertise and really reduce the cost back to our clients. So it's a significant discount to what the current landscape is.
Yeah, I think we're just creating a new pathway. There's so much need for your business. When I first heard about what you were doing, my spidey senses came on and I was like, this is going to be something really cool. And then as we talked our first time, I was like, this is going to be a really good opportunity for us to help more people. And then as I saw you in person this past weekend at Chiro Congress, I was thinking to myself, how can we help this profession build stability and to create stronger marketplace? And if we can do that through taking what's already been established and not losing ground moving forward, we actually create more opportunity for the future of the profession. And that's probably a huge void that I see you guys stepping into. Is the past 10 years specifically, I've seen so many docs close their doors because they just didn't know how to transition to or have an exit. They didn't know how to find a buyer. They didn't know how to structure the deal. So instead of working with somebody like Bridge, they just closed their shop and retired with, their memories. and not a bank account that they can retire with. So I see that what you guys are doing is filling a huge opportunity for not only the new graduates, but the older professionals. And honestly, I've talked to so many people that they just want to have somebody that comes in and learns from them that can take their practice over. And I think that that's the real happy medium here is work with Bridge, get your health business score, get your practice valuation, work with Jimmy and his team, let them find out where your deficiencies are, make those your strengths, learn how much time it's going to take you to achieve those objectives, and figure out what it's going to take to get the best deal that you can. And that's a huge thing, man. I'm honored to have you guys on as a sponsor for the Chiro Hustle podcast. I think we're going to have a really amazing future helping more chiropractors. And I just want to thank you for making some time today to be on episode 692.
It was my pleasure, James. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share more what we do at Bridge.
And at this juncture, is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
No, I think you covered it well. If you are interested, as James said, chirohustle.com/bridge, and there is a Bridge business valuation calculator. If you're interested, reach out to James, go to the website. Our website is bridge.financial as well. So if you're interested, come visit us. But yeah, go to the business calculator, chirohustle/bridge, and there should be a calculator there.
Yeah, I've used it myself. So go over to chirohustle.com/bridge and click on that link and click on the little scroll bar where it has their sponsors there and find them. They're optimized on there, and we're really happy to have them on as sponsors as a contributor to the Chiro Hustle podcast. Well, Jimmy, thanks for being our guest once again, and we will close out like I always do. You're just one story away, everybody. Just keep hustling. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.
Thanks, James. Bye-bye.
Yep. See you soon. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.